Hey everybody, Ryan Reed here from Dice Up the Classroom, and I hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend. If you're like me, caught in the Midwestern area, of course we got a lot of snowstorm here for our 3-day weekend, but I thought it was a perfect time now to finally review 3 books, especially my newest ones I've been learning here. So the first one I'm going to talk about is from Michael Cohen, better known as the Tech Rabbi, and that's, of course, Educated by Design. Design is space for experiment, explore, and extract and creative potential. I've been following Michael for a few years now. I've always enjoyed his work, especially when I was still at my previous school back in 2015, where we were going over different pieces for using iPads and technology in the classroom. And he's really come a long way in those couple of years, using a lot of create space, entrepreneurship, and more in exploring education. And right here, Educated by Design is a fantastic book. It's another one by the Dave Burgess Consulting Incorporated. Yes, I know I always talk about Dave Burgess a lot and Shelley Burgess, but you can't go wrong with their books. There really is one for everybody here. But one thing is I really like this is really sell about is Michael talks about creativity is a mindset, not an art set. Some people think that creativity, you have to be artistic in some way. Maybe you can't draw, but maybe you can act. Maybe you can't, go ahead and make some painting or do some light show coding, but there's other ways you can just be artistic. But the truth is it's a mindset. A lot of people can be naturally innovative and creative, and it's a mindset to be that way. A lot of people just pretty much work with things and just go with where they go. And Michael just gives some fantastic ideas here. Everything from rapid prototype design, the candle challenge, as well as the homework machine design, using brainstorming, thought process, and everything. And this book is really good. And it's not just for high school or makerspace teachers or STEM teachers. There's something for everyone in this, technology or not, because Michael Lehman says perfectly that technology is a tool, not a way of being. And I really, really enjoyed this book. It's got so many great ideas, design steps. If you're thinking about doing makerspaces, teaching entrepreneurship, or creating some real learning for students, you really need to get Educated by Design here by Michael Cohen, the Tech Rabbi. This is a fantastic book. I give this a very, very high star rating here, the full 5. If I could still review on Amazon, it's exactly what I have. So I've been using things from this since I picked up this book a couple of weeks ago. It just worked out, and it's just been fantastic. And Michael's just given me such wonderful ideas and thought process, because he said it perfectly. He didn't want to just make another tech book or another edgy book that was going to be outdated in a couple of years. He actually gives you something you can use, something you can apply to any student, to any classroom, to any lesson. And it's just a very fantastic book. So Michael, thank you for that. But I am not just finishing up there either. I've got 2 other books to review, and I have one right now that I am currently in box around doing a book review on, and that is, of course, Make Learning Magical by my friend Tisha Richmond. You might know her from her wonderful gamification and Explore Like a Pirate, as well as her culinary arts teaching, and, of course, now as a technology innovation leader. And the truth is, Tish has a fantastic book here. I've been friends with Tish for a couple of years. I've met her. We've done workshops, online work, and she's just got so much things to go through here. Because what happens is she talks about making learning authentic, having magical beginnings, how to add some gamification to the lessons. In fact, I'm using the Topple idea from her actually for a lesson on Tuesday. I can't wait to get that going with my kids here. We have a little fun there. I have to make the note cards after I'm done video recording here. But it's just such amazing stuff. She really talks about innovation, similar to what Michael talked about in his book, but she really talks about having them step into students' shoes and be able to think and how to encourage them to push between their comfort level. Let's face it, as teachers, we always have that comfort level, and then it's pushing us beyond that. But students are the same way. It doesn't matter if they're 4 years old, in pre-kindergarten, doesn't matter if they're high school ready to get out and graduate. It's pushing them out of their comfortable zones, what they feel most comfortable with, to have them explore and learn. And of course, it's about finding ways to do that, to make it authentic, to actually find ways to make those magical additions. And there's just so many ways to do it. I mean, there's such a wonderful thing, as there is such a wonderful amount of pieces in here that Tish gives out and ways you can make learning authentic, amazing, and of course the most magical. There's a lot of ones in here. You should definitely pick up this book and definitely look for, I'll leave a description thing for some of these people, how to follow them on Twitter as well as Instagram. Now, the last book I want to talk about today, which I talked about back in late spring, And we all know who the author is because she's a big part of the DBC now, and that is Be Real by Tara Martin here. Yes, Tara, I'm talking about you, about her book, Be Real. And there's actually two things I want to bring up about here. One is Tara, and then one is about Carrie Brunheim, who you might know as Heck Awesome online. And of course, her sketch notes. She actually has a lot of wonderful pages in here about sketch notes and relating it to it. But what's so amazing about this is Tara really writes a really book about empathy and about being real education. She talks about tech tips, talking about being with students. She shares some personal stories in here about how it was for her to cannonball, as she puts it, into lessons in life and getting over that fear factor. And Be Real is a really good one for new and old educators alike, from administration to the brand new teacher, to the kindergarten, to the high school tech teacher, to the high school English teacher. She has lots of ways to really make real lessons into the work here and Be Real. And it's just an amazing book to go through. And I mean, if anything, it's just reading along with it, going through the sketch notes by Carrie, as well as how to be a coach, how to drive impact every day. And of course, just make some wonderful, wonderful pieces. And I think one right here is, I really like this one right here, is she really talks about the beauty of blogging. I didn't bring this up, but all of these teachers, Tisha, Michael, and of course Tara, really do wonderful things with their blogging. And that's about finding that passion of yourselves and sharing that story. Many times they say, don't share your story. Sometimes they talk about, don't give away all your tools to people, because then you don't become as special, or everybody's doing it and you're not as important. And I don't agree with that. The one thing is about sharing your stories, about the struggles you go through. I mean, I think one thing we are all guilty of, I know it is, that we always see people's highlight reel. We always see people being successful. They've made that administration job. They've gotten the books published. They're going to conferences left and right. And the truth is, it's hard work. You just don't happen overnight. You don't just write this. I mean, Michael perfectly said in his book, it took him about 2 years to write a book. I've actually been working on one for about 5 years. I'm hoping in another year or so, it'll finally come into being something. But it does take work, and sometimes we learn into that problem of comparing ourselves to others. And and as Tisha, Michael, and even Tara write, and especially Dan Trico, who wrote in Sanctuaries and the Zen Teachers, not to do that. I know we always get down, and it's about trying to move past those pieces. But something I think also Tara really emphasizes as much is to be who you are, be what you are, and you're going to find that magic, just like Tisha explained, and you're going to find that peace, just like Michael explained, to know what it is and to push past those fears, cannonball in, and make things for yourself and for your students and for your life. And it's just something I highly recommend with the Be Real books, Make Learning Magical, and of course, Educated by Design. So these are 3 books I give 5 stars to. There's also a couple of book studies out there for them, as well as constant pieces on their social media. I'll share those links right here in the description. But I definitely highly recommend these 3 books. Head off to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, or just look for that little extra person online to try to buy them from the Dave Burgers. I'll leave a link for their website as well on my piece here. But these are 3 books I definitely highly recommend. They will encourage you. They might change you, and they will definitely fill you with wonderful ideas to make things incredible in your classroom or as an educator. So these are my 3 books to recommend here. Please go check them out on their social media. Please check out their works and other pieces on Twitter, as well as other workshops if they're coming to your area. And definitely take out the Dave Burgers Consulting Incorporated webpage. On that note, guys, I will see everyone later. I have some wonderful little stories I'll be sharing in the next few weeks from my Design for Entrepreneurship class, as well as some of my designs for business and technology coming up on Dice Up the Classroom. And yes, finally, the return of the App Dice Pirate. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see everyone later.